Welcome, Panthers, to another news report. My name is Venkatesh, and I'm with Gabe and Aurora. We have a sequence of interesting reports lined up for you. And now, on to Gabe.
Hey everyone, I'm Gabe, and today I'm going to be talking about the new 30 series of next-gen graphics from NVIDIA. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm talking about graphics cards. The piece of tech that allows your computer to process certain images and videos, along with games and rendering video. Why these 3070, 3080, and 3090 cards are so important is not just because it'll make your game look crisp and clean, but they will be able to run games up to an 8K compatible screen. That means 33 million pixels on a screen or TV. Likely the most human-like image your eyes have ever seen. Obviously a huge accomplishment for the gaming and video industry. Let's talk with someone that knows a bit more about these cards.
So my name is Nick. I'm just kind of a regular guy. I have a YouTube channel called Tech Illiterate, and I talk about tech stuff.
What's one thing you find interesting or impressive about the 3090 card?
The 3090, it's obviously it's got a lot of things to talk about, but what I find most interesting is just how big it is. It weighs almost 5 pounds. That's like the size of a chicken. And if you're not really impressed with the size of it, or at least in the performance, then you can use it as a door stopper. It's huge, right?
So let's talk about the launch of the 30 series. How did it go so far?
Well, we're still in the middle of the launch. We're still waiting for the 3070 to be released, and I'm sure there'll be more cards after that. And I don't think it's gone very smoothly. It started with some incredible hype by NVIDIA, claiming that to be 2 times the performance. Turned out to be a bit of an exaggeration, definitely not true. And it did cause people to kind of go crazy to get these cards, which obviously led to them selling out immediately, especially on NVIDIA's website, where people saw it go from notify me to out of stock instantaneously. So
Yeah.
not so great. And to make matters worse, they've been having quite a few crashing issues, especially with the third-party cards. So overall, not a great launch.
So in their advertising and release, they talked a lot about 8K. Is that very important for just normal consumers and users?
No, not right now. For 8K, it's quite a niche corner of the market. For normal users, I don't think it's important because resolution comes second to frame rates, and the 3090 can only push 60 frames per second in ideal conditions. So for normal users, I think they'd be better off with a gaming experience that can give them HD or 1440p that'll reach or exceeds 120 frames per second.
So as in the release, their stock on their cards was very low. What do you think of that?
NVIDIA wanted to get their cards out in the wild. They wanted to beat their competition, and I can understand that. They wanted to get ahead of AMD. But yeah, I think they pulled the trigger a bit too soon. They could have waited 2 to 4 weeks before launching so that their stock levels were sufficient. But yes, there are some things to be said. Some people believe that behind the scenes, NVIDIA are kind of pulling the strings and deliberately keeping their stock low so that the prices will actually become inflated. So personally, I do believe that NVIDIA is trying to pull some strings, like I said, but there's no real evidence of that. It's just speculation.
Any other interesting facts about the science or the airflow designed in the card?
Absolutely. The Founders Edition cards, specifically the 3080 and the 3090 from NVIDIA, are quite interesting. And they've kind of had a breath of fresh air in a space that hasn't seen change in about a decade. So mainly it's that flow-through design, right? With the cooler, it extends beyond the PCB itself, and it allows air to be pulled directly through the card, which can actually pass over components on the motherboard and cool them, which is actually quite cool. Not to be punny, but maybe a big fact. And even through all the bad press, most of the things I've talked about here haven't been super positive about the 30 series release. But overall, right now, they have the most powerful gaming GPUs that you can buy, even if you can't really get them because they're so low stock. But it's impressive in itself that they have the 3090 being the most powerful GPU for gaming that has existed. That's awesome.
Hi Panthers, I'm Aurora and I'm from the KJLS broadcast team. I'm here to talk about a restaurant that you might have heard of called Teaspoon. Teaspoon is a restaurant that sells boba tea in the Middlefield Strip Mall. You can go there with your friends after school usually, but with coronavirus you might need to be a little more careful. However, Teaspoon has adapted and is still open. Let's go inside and talk with the manager of Teaspoon.
We have a sanitized solution, so we have to multiple times throughout the day. We just have to spray things down, just make sure the areas that people touch and there's more foot traffic, those areas we have to sanitize constantly. And then also the working stations that we have in the back, we have to constantly sanitize those also to make sure there's no cross-contamination or just slower to spread as best as we can. Okay, so the foot traffic definitely was impacted. In the beginning, it was very slow, like the first 3-4 weeks when everything started to happen. But after that, we were able to implement online ordering and pickup and all that stuff. So that helped a lot. So luckily, we were able to get back on our feet. But yeah, the biggest thing was just foot traffic. Other than that, we were one of the lucky businesses that didn't get too impacted. Right now, it's where it should be because usually around this time when it gets colder, it's a little slow, because people just don't come out. But right now it's a little slower. It's lower than it should be because of the air quality and all that stuff too. But when the temperature went up like a couple weeks ago, the sales went up. So it's like a very weather-based business. So it's where it should be. We have quality product. Just wear your mask and be nice to us.
Go visit Teaspoon soon. Remember, it's on Middlefield at the Strip Mall. And now, back to Venkatesh.
Thanks for tuning into this news report. We hope you enjoyed it and we will see you later.